So that's why we are now the first three of the OSCE team returning back to Lugansk. We find it important because we need to report back facts. We are not making any conclusion, but it's a fact that this has been done. It's a fact that this has been hit, and it's almost, I guess, a fact that someone has been killed here too. So it's very important to report what has happened. Is there any military installation around or what? Why? Then this, I guess it's a school. No, we have just came with the train here 12 o'clock today and started to look at all damage, what has happened, to try to analyze what's going on. Civilians are killed. Why? It's a military war, so that's what we are looking at. To make sure that those 57 member states we have in OSCE, that all of them get facts so they know what's happened. There's a lot of rumors going on. He's standing over there, so and we have met some of the leaders of Soviet army. So we are going to look at that, try to monitor every building to see what's happened, what kind of weapon has been used, and also to look at, as I said before, is there anything in the neighborhood which could justify an attack, for instance, military installation. But it's difficult, of course, to see what threat this building could have. But as I said, we do not make any conclusion. We report facts, not what people tell us, but what we have seen. So we make sure that 57 member states, including Russia, including Ukraine, US, most European countries will know what has happened. Shells or mortars, I think it's grenades. 3 of them hit here, 1 down there on the way. And that's a fact. And then others will have to conclude why did this happen. Since I left 10 days ago, a lot of things has happened. There's very few people on the street, as I knew from before. Many shops seem to have closed, hotels have closed. But on the other hand, buses are still running, and there's fuel, and there seems to be a food supply. So that's at least a good thing. But it has changed, and this is one of the major changes. With that, here and there's some hits. But we are going to, as I said, everything of this. So we are always ready to help, to mediate, and if mediate will end up in a resolution, then we are also ready to be there to monitor that everyone is doing what they have to do.
Mm-hmm. But did you already had a dialogue with the opposite force to?
Not me, I guess someone.
But is it one of the purposes of your visit here?
No, we just came. There's 2 partners who can make such an agreement. The one party is the Ukrainian army, the other party is Lugansk people and the Southeast army. We can't. They have to negotiate, but we can bring them together, and we can help them, and we can ensure that everyone is doing what they have promised to do. And that's, of course, very important. Both if people are trapped in a place and run the risk to be killed, and if they are injured and run the risk to die of their injury.
Excuse me, and one more question about your visit to Slavyansk. If I don't mistake, you have been in Slavyansk. What have you seen? You both were there. What have you seen there? And is the difference between Lugansk and Slavyansk?
I can't say it now because we have been here since 12 o'clock. So I can't compare because I've seen this now. Mm-hmm. And if I compare that with Slavyansk, then there's a difference. But I don't know how much else has happened. later today we have heard a lot of explosions. You have probably heard them too. So we are very interested in to hear what has happened, which buildings were damaged and where, and I'm going to ask that question in a few minutes.
Which facts have you seen in Slavyansk?
Facts we have seen, that's our estimation, the center of the city, up to 30% of all buildings have more or less hit, which means grenades or rockets or just the window broken or scars from fragments or bullets, up to 30%. In the outskirts, much lesser, up to 10%, perhaps lesser. And then there's a certain area in the outskirts of Lugansk where some heavy fighting took place. And our estimation is at least 30 buildings demolished, either 50% or up to 100% totally. There's a lot of unexploded mortars stuck in the pavement, and really a lot. There's artillery grenades. We saw one at least not exploded, so there's been quite a heavy fight. So this part of Lugansk is heavy.
And to the point of civilian deaths?
I'm not quite aware. There must have been at least quite a few.
Okay.
If you go to Kramatorsk, it seems a little bit different. It's not hit so much slowly. But in some few days, I think we know more about what has happened here, because this is, of course, not the only thing that has happened.
And what kind of results the OSCE mission got from Slavyansk after the visit?
We forward a report of our findings. That's not just the damage on building, that's also the entire infrastructure. Do they have electricity? Do they have water? What is the food supply? Is the train running back and forth between Slavyansk and Kharkiv? It started after a couple of days. Are there fuel? Everything, means something. Where are the children? Are there children on the street? Because if there's children on the street, then it seems to be peaceful, because no parents will bring their children out on the street if they fear something.
So did your report influence to the way of conflict in Slavyansk?
No, we were sent there as the first international team coming into Slavyansk after the fight ended. So we reported to OSCE our findings, and that's the same we are going to do here.
So here in Lugansk you have more opportunities because fights are already still going.
Unfortunately, we have more opportunities. I'm sorry to say. I would have hoped we had no opportunities because there's no fight. That's up to the two.